Chapter 2, Alpha with Pheromone Disorder, 2. What happened? The homeroom teacher furrowed his brows and stood up, asking the injured Alpha, Ahang? He and Zhao Anhang's beta mother were relatives, cousins to be specific. The only the color of his uniform and lifted him up effortlessly. Zhao Anhang, what are you up to here? Pretending to be sick to get a note? Planning to fake it? He raised an eyebrow. Zhao Anhang, almost in tears, tried to explain, I swear, Brother Lu, I'm not faking it. The new student was trying to steal your clothes. I said something to him, and then he made a move. No, he kicked me. Steal my clothes? Lu Fengqi hesitated and released his grip on Zhao Anhang's collar. Shui Que had kicked him earlier, and the other students weren't sure how to handle it. So Zhao Anhang had screamed to go find the teacher, and they decided to have Shui Que and Zhao Anhang go to the office to resolve the issue. Several students were still hanging around the office hallway, eavesdropping. Brother Lu? Shui Que caught the keyword in Zhao Anhang's words. That's when he realized that the guy standing in front of him was Lu Fengqi. He was a tall, broad-shouldered figure between adolescence and young adulthood, a full head taller than Shui Que. He wasn't wearing a school uniform, just a white shirt and black pants. The top 3 buttons of his shirt were undone, revealing his Adam's apple and a small portion of his chest. One side of his shirt was tucked in, not loose at all. In fact, the slight outline of abs visible under the white fabric gave off a casual yet sharp vibe. Lu Fengqi was mixed race, with brown hair, brows that swept into his temples, and deep features. His eyes, the color of a vast ocean, complemented the deep blue earrings he wore. Those eyes met Shui Que's gaze. The school uniform jacket in Shui Que's hand suddenly felt like it was burning hot, the heat spreading up to his hairline and around his ears. His skin was fair and delicate, the slightest flush of pink standing out even more. Caught red-handed with the stolen item, Shui Que felt incredibly awkward, unable to say a word. It wasn't even an expensive uniform. Why would someone steal his clothes? Lu Fengqi's expression grew uncomfortable. Trying to cover it up, he patted Zhao Anhang's shoulder and cleared his throat. Cough, cough. Is it really necessary to bring this little thing to the office? How embarrassing. Zhao Anhang, unable to argue, felt completely speechless. The teacher, worried, asked, Ahang, what's wrong? Tell me the truth. An alpha who had come with Zhao Anhang added, Report, teacher, I saw the new student kick him. The alpha mimicked the motion of a kick to the groin. Zhao Anhang, still recovering, immediately felt a chill in his lower body again. The teacher's face turned pale with shock, then quickly morphed into an angry expression. He had been hoping Zhao Anhang would inherit the Zhao family business and bring benefits to the maternal side of the family. He was very concerned about Zhao Anhang, who was under the care of Mother Zhao. Shui Que had just transferred to the school, and though his last name was Song, no one had informed him about the Haichun Song family. After all, it was well known that the Song family was currently led by Song Qin, the only son of Song Kong. He assumed Shui Que was some rich kid from a small family, relying on the Zhao family as his backer. He raised his voice. Song Shui Que, stealing other people's belongings and hurting a classmate, you're going to call your parents right now. A beta nervously spoke up to defend Shui Que. Teacher, it wasn't like that. I saw that it was Lu Fengqi's sleeve that fell on the floor. The new student wanted to pick it up for him, but then Zhao Anhang just came over and accused the new student of stealing, and even forcefully tried to smell his gland. Betas didn't have glands, and for alphas, the gland wasn't a sensitive area. However, if it had been an omega, smelling the gland could have been considered sexual harassment. Except for the class teacher, who knew Shui Que's gender from his records as an alpha, the other students assumed the new student was an omega. She had never seen such a beautiful omega before. After explaining, the beta looked up secretly at the new student. The boy had a small frame. His uniform, the perfect size for other boys his age, fit him well, not too large despite its originally loose design. It even emphasized his slenderness, and his skin had an almost ethereal quality. He was so thin, and his face was pale. Faced with a strict, biased teacher, he felt as fragile as a floating reed. Bullying an omega was shameful. The others couldn't help but feel indignant. Shui Que didn't expect there would be a witness, and even that his intention to help pick up the uniform was misunderstood. No, he was interrupted as an eyelash fell into his eye. He quickly waved his hand and rubbed at his eye. Lu Fengqi's pupils contracted, and he suddenly slapped Zhao Anhang on the head. Zhao Anhang immediately cried out in pain. Enough, he's just a thin guy. Do you think he could really hurt you? You're an alpha, acting like this. Isn't it embarrassing? Lu Fengqi grabbed Zhao Hanhang like a chicken and began pulling him out of the classroom. He suddenly stopped, recalling something, and turned to look at the class teacher, his face darkening. His sharp gaze seemed to cut right through the teacher, as if it gripped the heart, suffocating him. He sneered coldly, "Teacher, is it really necessary to call his parents over for such a small matter?" The teacher hesitated, understanding what Lu Fengqi meant. He forced a smile. "Yes, student Lu Fengqi is right. It's important to show understanding and unity between students." Not long ago, Lu Fengqi had casually dismissed him with, "Yes, you're right." The teacher had only dared to comment on Lu Fengqi's actions while seated at his desk, since Lu Fengqi had been respectful enough to him. If it came to a confrontation, even the entire Zhao family would not be a match for the Lu family. Lu Fengqi smirked and, as he passed by Shui Que, paused. He tossed Zhao Hanhang out the door and freed up his hands. "New student, my jacket?" Shui Que suddenly realized that he was still holding the uniform jacket. He carefully handed it over to Lu Fengqi, his fingertips brushing against the man's sculpted muscles. The jacket hung on his hand, still warm from the body, with a faint scent of gardenia. Lu Fengqi's hand trembled slightly. Thankfully, the jacket covered his arm, hiding the goosebumps rising on his skin. "Thanks." He quickly stepped away from Shui Que, his heart pounding in his chest, though his expression remained unchanged. The shining earrings distracted from the blush creeping across his ears. The bell rang for the end of class, and the students who had been watching the drama slowly dispersed. The class teacher called Shui Que over. "Song Shui Que, today, it's Zhao Hanhang who chose not to press charges. If anything like this happens again, hurting classmates and disrupting class unity, the school will have to give you a demerit." The teacher had to impose a reprimand, even though Lu Fengqi had spoken for him. A student who caused trouble right after transferring couldn't just get away with it lightly. "I will inform your parents about this, and you'll need to submit a 2,000-word reflection tomorrow, alright?" Shui Que, "No problem, teacher." He smiled, his lips curling. He thought the first scene might end in failure. Fortunately, the teacher was reliable and remembered to contact his parents. He had also been holding onto Lu Fengqi's jacket for a little longer than needed, and now it probably smelled of pheromones. So, the two objectives of this scene were, more or less, completed. Judging by Lu Fengqi's earlier reaction, he must dislike him and likely didn't believe the excuse about picking up clothes. It was just that someone had spoken up for him, and Lu Fengqi found him so repulsive that he didn't want to get involved any further. On the way home after school, System 77 was showering him with praise. "Congratulations, host. The progress of this character's storyline has reached 10%. In addition to the storyline progress, as long as you maintain your character setup, you have the chance to earn extra soft rice points. Both storyline progress and soft meal points can be exchanged for points after this character's storyline ends." Shui Que, what are points for? Accumulating enough points can help you upgrade the employee benefits of the big world. Not only will your business range expand, but you'll also be able to buy a house in the big world. That way, when you don't want to work, you can go there to rest. You can also use points to upgrade system abilities or buy new system appearances. System 77 continued, getting a little shy. "Host, don't you like puppies? The Big World store has system dog appearances available for purchase, with lots of varieties like golden retrievers, border collies, corgis, and more." "Okay, I'll do my job well," Shui Que said, gently rubbing the floating little orb's head since no one else was around. System 77 felt a little dizzy, floating over to settle on Shui Que's shoulder. At the school gate, young master. The driver, who was waiting outside the car, waved as soon as he saw Shui Que and quietly reminded him before he got in, "Just now, the eldest young master received a call from your teacher, and his mood isn't great." "You?" Shui Que's face was pure and obedient, with just a hint of innocence in the corners of his eyes. Who would expect such rebellious character? Just a few days ago, he had been brought back and threatened to oust Song Qin from his position, accusing Song Qin of stealing his things. The driver sighed. He had worked for the Song family for almost half a lifetime and sincerely wished for peace in the family. He kindly advised, "Don't argue with the eldest young master later. He's only doing this for your own good." Shui Que murmured in response, distracted. He had just received the memories of Song Shui Que, and now he understood the character. Since he was supposed to play the bad alpha brother, it was inevitable he would cause trouble for the family. "Apologies, driver uncle." The warmth of the car enveloped him as soon as he opened the door, dispelling the cold of the autumn rain from his body. He put his umbrella away and got in. Inside the car, it was dim, and the steady drip of rainwater from the umbrella hit the carpet. The man in a suit sat at the far end by the window, his brows furrowed in a serious expression. Silver-framed glasses perched on his high nose, casting a shadow over his face. His dark hair hung in front of his forehead, covering the frames, and his jawline was sharp. A document rested on his lap. When Shui Que entered, he didn't even glance up from the file. The car started moving. Shui Que pursed his lips, preparing himself. He threw his backpack down, angrily crumpling his wet umbrella and tossing it to the floor. Water splashed, arcing before landing on the white paper. For a moment, the car was silent enough that the sound of a pin dropping could be heard. Song Chin closed the document with a click. Shui Que seemed oblivious to the change in atmosphere. He sat heavily next to Song Chin, with a cane placed between them. The cane was made of rare, dark wood, with a fine piece of jade embedded in the head of the cane. The male lead was kidnapped as a child. A flash flood collapsed the building where the kidnappers hid him, and a beam fell on his right leg, making it difficult for him to walk without using a cane. System 77 explained to Shui Que. Shui Que, pick it up. His voice was gruff, his hand showing the blue veins as he pointed to the messy umbrella on the floor. Shui Que acted like a sulking child. I don't want to. It hasn't gotten dirty, hasn't stained your car, he emphasized, stressing the word, your. Song Chin's right hand rested on the jade of his cane, gently rubbing the tip of his finger against it. The teacher called earlier and said you were caught stealing and fighting. What's going on? I didn't. Shui Que breathed a sigh of relief in secret, thankful that the homeroom teacher didn't believe the beta student version of the story and had escalated it to a fight, pushing his progress forward. With a brother like this, the male lead must be pulling his hair out. Shui Que decided he would deny everything, stubbornly saying, I didn't, I was fine today. I didn't do anything. There's nothing missing at home, no shortage of food or anything, Song Chin coldly asked. You're still in school, and 30,000 a month isn't enough for you? His brows furrowed. Why steal from your classmates? Song Chin didn't mind that this illegitimate brother was slow-witted. The Song family could hire the best tutors. No matter how foolish he was, as long as his mind wasn't defective, he could be taught. The lack of manners and refinement could be understood, as Shui Que had been raised by his single mother in a small county town with fewer resources. What Song Chin couldn't accept was that his brother was a person of low character, a thief and a fighter. I told you I didn't do it, but you don't believe me, Shui Que muttered dismissively. When are you going to give me the card that old man gave me? The sound of the file dropping to the floor echoed. Shui Que was pulled close to Song Chin, whose hand grabbed his chin, his veins standing out in anger. Shui Que, don't disappoint your parents, Song Chin said. He was ready to harshly discipline his rebellious brother, but the soft touch of his fingertips made him pause. Song Chin's gaze lingered on Shui Que's face for a moment, stunned. His face was pale, almost as small as his palm, with a pointed chin that felt bony when he squeezed it. Compared to Song Chin, he was much smaller, his face full of stubbornness, like a hedgehog with its defenses raised. It seemed that strict, oppressive discipline didn't suit this kind of child. Song Chin relaxed his grip, but before he knew it, Shui Que had bitten his wrist fiercely. Tasting blood in his mouth, Shui Que immediately tried to pull away, but his movement was too forceful, causing him to bump his head on the car roof. Just as the car braked, Shui Que lost his balance and fell onto Song Chin's lap. The sudden hit to his head made Shui Que bite his lip, and his eyes instinctively filled with a sharp, stinging sensation. A strange voice echoed in his mind. Open black lens bracket. Did you hurt yourself, baby? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Are you about to drop your little pearl? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Get away from this worthless man. Close black lens bracket. The car door knocked, and the driver nervously said, Young master, we've arrived. Shui Que didn't have time to ask who the strange voice belonged to. He struggled to stand up and opened the car door. Fearing that Song Chin might stop him or discipline him, Shui Que quickly escaped the car, but not before he snatched the cane. Little young master. The driver hesitated, looking back at the still-seated Song Chin, eldest young master. Song Chin.